Good morning. My name's Anthony Kelly. Welcome to the virtual hearing of the Licensing Subcommittee held on the 6th of September 2023, which has also been streamed online live on YouTube. This is regarding the Best Wine premises at 106 to 108 Uxbridge Road, Hanwell, W7 3SU. Which is also in the sort of Hanwell Broadway town centre location. I should be chairing the meeting with councillors Praveen Anand and Councillor John Ball. We are today's subcommittee. We also have Cornelia Harden, who is clerk to the subcommittee, who'll be minuting the meeting, and Mr. Sam Kirkham from Democratic Services is also present to observe. We also have Alison Luff, who is legal advisor to the subcommittee. You will have all received or seen the agenda pack within which is contained the licensing officer's report with details of the application. To confirm, today's hearing is for the application to review the premises license relating to the Best Wine, 106 to 108 Uxbridge Road, Hanwell. The review has been brought about by Ealing Council's Safer Communities team, and two responsible authorities have made written representation in support of the review, namely the Metropolitan Police Service and the Licensing Compliance and Enforcement team. In accordance with procedure, I'll invite the applicant to present the application, answer any questions and call upon any witnesses, then invite the premises and their representatives to also make representations and call upon any witnesses. At the conclusion of the hearing, the subcommittee, accompanied by the legal advisor and the Democratic Services officers, will retire to consider its decision. The decision will be given at the end of the meeting. If we're unable to make a decision, you'll be notified as such within 5 working days of the decision. So, Mr. Bob Deere, would you like to present the application, please?
Thank you, Chair. It's actually not my application, it's community safety.
Indeed, sorry. A bit presumptuous here. My apologies, Miss Shaw. Yeah, you just want to introduce yourself first, and anyone, I'll stop speaking now, but anyone can turn their mics off if they're not talking.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning to you and the members of the committee. My name is Abby Shaw. I am a team leader in the Safer Communities team for the London Borough of Ealing, and I represent the Ealing and Hanwell clusters, as we refer to them. So as we're aware, an application was made to review this premises licence on the 25th of July, following a number of concerns raised not only in the local area about an increase of street drinking and associated antisocial behaviour, but in addition to a number of planned operations and visits to multiple licensed premises within that area, the Best Wine being one of those premises where a number of licensing objectives were not being met and licensing conditions were being breached. So I'll just provide a quick summary of those visits and the breaches or the conditions that we felt weren't being met. So on the 21st of June 2023 at approximately 5:15 p.m, Park Guard officers, who are the council's private security contractors, were carrying out a patrol of the Hanwell Broadway area and had cause to interact with a well-known street drinker, both well known to the police and the Safer Communities team. This individual was heavily intoxicated and in possession of 2 cans of lager at the time. Officers decided to enter the Best, given the close proximity the individual was to that licensed premises, and spoke to the worker behind the counter, who admitted to those officers that he had sold that individual alcohol approximately 10 minutes prior to their arrival. Following that information, I carried out a further visit on the 22nd of June 2023, again with Park Guard officers, but also present was Bob Deere. During that visit, myself and Bob witnessed the worker attempting to sell alcohol in single can forms to approximately 3 individuals. two of which I could say were under the influence of alcohol at the time the sales were being taken place. Myself and Bob put a stop to those sales happening. And throughout the visit, we found a number of high strength alcohol on the shelves and in the refrigerators throughout the premises. Some were hidden behind lower strength alcohol. And I believe my colleague Bob also found 5 packets of counterfeit cigarettes hidden in a gold Hennessy's box, which was behind the counter. We did ask the worker about CCTV at the time, but the worker was unable to provide us details of how to access the CCTV. The screen inside the premises at the time was switched off. So the assumption was made that the CCTV wasn't working at the time we were there. And he was unable to tell us where the CCTV system was stored or how he could access it should the police or Mr. Deer need access to those CCTV records. On the 27th of June, I was in attendance in a meeting in the Hanwell Broadway area with Park Guard officers, but also with police officers from Hanwell Broadway Safer Neighbourhoods team, and where we were meeting with members of the public to discuss and local councillors to discuss the ongoing concerns of ASB in and around that area. During that meeting, we found a second well-known individual, both to the police and the council, who was very heavily intoxicated to the point where he was becoming unwell and had to be assisted to sit on the floor and potentially LAS to be called. He was in possession of alcohol at the time, and when we asked him where he purchased it from, he referenced the Best Wine. So because of this, we entered the store again and spoke to the worker, who was again unable to provide us access to the CCTV to say whether they had sold the person alcohol or not. And during that same visit, we again found the same branded high strength alcohol hidden in the store, and it hadn't been removed from our previous visit. Contact details were left for myself and Mr. Madden to provide access to the CCTV, but we never received any confirmation or communication from Mr. Madden at the time, or any details or video clips of the CCTV for that particular incident. Approximately 4 weeks later, on the 20th of July, myself and Police Sergeant James Bradshaw for Ealing Police Licensing carried out a number of visits to multiple licensed premises in the Hanwell Broadway area, the Best again being one of them. Whilst we were standing outside the store waiting to enter, Police Sergeant Bradshaw witnessed Mr. Madden, who was behind the counter at the time, sell a single can of alcohol to another individual who again was heavily intoxicated with alcohol. And the reason we know he was heavily intoxicated with alcohol is because myself and Sergeant Bradshaw had prevented him from buying alcohol from another store in the same location. He smelt heavily of alcohol, his words were slurring, he was profusely sweating and unable to walk straight. So once we witnessed this, we entered the store. Sergeant Bradshaw spoke to Mr. Madden at the time, who said, he pointed to a sign above his head which said, "We do not sell to street drinkers." And when I questioned him further on this, Mr. Madden replied with, "He is not one of the 7 or 8 known street drinkers." And we had to argue our case that Mr. Madden shouldn't be selling to anybody under the influence of alcohol, not just known street drinkers that have been frequenting his store on a regular basis. And I'm aware Sergeant Bradshaw had a very detailed conversation with Mr. Madden about his concerns that Mr. Madden isn't able to pick up on observations of individuals who may be under the influence of alcohol already. During that visit, again, we found multiple other high strength alcohol hidden again behind lower strength alcohol in the refrigerator area. We removed these from the shelf and asked Mr. Madden to dispose of them or take them away from the shelves and the inside of the store. Sergeant Bradshaw also asked Mr. Madden for a full copy of the premises license, which he was unable to produce at the time. And I believe Sergeant Bradshaw picked up on other breaches such as boxes of alcohol on the floor, throughout the shop floor, sorry. So that's a summary of the application. Since then, it has been brought to my attention on the 27th of August, Park Guard officers were in the area assisting a vulnerable female. And they assisted her with doing her shopping in that particular store, so the Best Wine. The time was 8:10 at night, and there was only one worker present in the Best Wine at the time of their visit, which would have been another breach of their license, because they should have 2 employees in the shop past 7 o'clock every day to prevent crime and disorder. So as mentioned, the review was made on the 25th of July, advertised as per the regulations. The blue notices were placed within the windows of the Best. Photographs were taken, and they can be found in your packs on pages 65 and 66. I haven't called any witnesses myself, but obviously I'm aware there's representations made from my colleague Sergeant Bradshaw and Bob Deere in the licensing, compliance and enforcement team. Due to there has been an extensive history with the Best, both from police side and both from Bob's team as well. So due to this history and the previous warnings issued by both Ealing Council and the Metropolitan Police Service, coupled with the evidence of multiple and continuous breaches of the licensing conditions and the total disregard for upholding the licensing conditions, I would ask the committee today to consider that this premises license is fully revoked.
Thank you. You did, thank you, Ms. Shaw, Abby. You did mention you didn't bring witnesses, but then we went on to say that Mr. Deere has made representations. So at this point, would you like to invite him in to augment what you've said before?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Bob, Mr. Deere.
Thank you, Chair. I've got a bit of a problem with my screen. I don't know if you can see me, but it's not showing up on mine. Yes, this premise is well known to the licensing, compliance and enforcement team. Obviously, I've had many a conversation with Mr. Madran. He's been there since 2014. So
Abby, perhaps turn your mic off because you're showing and not Bob.
Oops.
Yeah, but Bob's camera's not working.
No. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but we can't see you. We could see you before. We could see you before. I don't know what happened.
What about now?
No, but as long as everyone's got their mic off, then we'll only see your blank screen and we know it's you. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I'll continue. Obviously, I've been to the premises before and actually spoke to Mr. Madran himself on the telephone and in person about stocking high-strength beer. And we've heard today that it's obviously a continuous trait of his and the premises. I did visit there on the 22nd of June with Abby Shaw and the Park Guard, and it's quite correct what she said, that several people came in, picked up 1 can of beer, brought it to the counter, and if we hadn't brought it to the attention of the shop worker, he would have merrily sold that can and the person would have gone. Whilst doing my inspection, there was a Hennessy box. When I obviously moved it, it was on the shelf in front of all the Hennessy bottles. When I moved it, it obviously was very light and it contained 5 packets of non-duty paid cigarettes, platinum red. In the fridge, numerous cans of high strength beer were found, Warwicker, Perla, which is 6%. And one thing I'd like to add is that no applications have ever been received from the premises to remove any existing conditions. Mr. Madran had spoke to me before, but I said he'd have to put an application in, and no applications have been made. Chair, my statement is there. I'll keep it short and sweet, and I'll be ready for questions when Mr. Panchal or yourselves require.
Thank you, Bob. Mr. Panchal, do you have any questions for Abby Shaw?
Can you hear me now?
Barely. I can't see you, but that's not necessary. I can't.
Can you hear me now, sir?
I can hear you. I can't see you. Can anyone else see him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you now. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
So sorry. Yeah, it's trying to get 2 people into one screen. Yes, Chairman. I will come to my presentations, but Mr. Madan.
It's Chair, Mr. Panchal.
Sorry, Chair. Yeah, I've come to. I haven't got much questions on this instance, but Mr. Madan seems to have a question to Abby regarding the CCTV. Yeah, would you like to?
Yeah, hi, sir. On that day when I was here, and I think the 2 police officers, the lady, I think she talking now, and there's one more guy. They come to see my, because my CCTV camera is working, but just only the what's this called, the TV is not working. Then I will show to the from the recording.
You're asking a question. Sorry, Chair. You're asking the question to Abby. That
I was given a bit of latitude there. I mean, you can respond to those things. So, in terms of the details of what Ms. Shaw and Mr. Deer have said, do you have any
questions to him?
Questions of, questions to clarify what they saw on what day?
Because she asked for the what's this called, the CCTV.
Yeah.
On our shop is 24/7 CCTV working.
No. You're asking. Sorry, Chair.
Okay. We get an opportunity to come back. That's fine. Yeah. You just hold that at the moment, Mr. Madham. I would suggest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. And any questions to Abby, Ms. Panchal? Not at the moment. No.
Not at the
Okay.
moment.
Yeah. So now, Mr. Madam. Just an opportunity, councillors, board councillors, Anand, do you have any questions to Abby at the moment?
No questions at this stage, Chair.
No.
No questions, Chair.
Yeah. So now, Mr. Panchal, if you'd like to present your case, and obviously you can bring witnesses in, and Mr. Madam can talk about the CCTV should he wish to. Then, yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I'd like to just put forward to you what the premises is. It is a very prominent premises in the Hanwell area. It has, as you have seen, presentation by Abby about regarding the sale of alcohol and the conditions they have. It has always had posters outside. There was an article in the newspaper, which you have got in your bundle now, which you could see in the pictures in the front.
Mr. Panchal, you're fading in and out. So perhaps if you could come, perhaps be helpful if we can see all of your face, and if you can speak a bit closer to where your mic is, please.
Yeah. Sorry, Chair. Can you see me now?
I can see you and I can hear you a bit better. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are in future we'll be investing into a bigger screen. So because we do a lot of hearings now, we'll try and make sure.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, Chair, in that article you could see the picture, which was the article which was presented to you on a later date. the newspaper article, and you could see the picture of the premises whereby there are posters which says we do not serve street drinkers on the premises. And that is what Mr. Madan is doing. He's already said in that report, if you could read, that they do not want to serve street drinkers. The shop stocks lagers and whiskies and whatever. Some of the whiskies are worth over £1,000, and they have visitors coming from all over the world. I've been hearing Mr. Madan saying that there were tourists also coming down to their shop because the exclusive whiskies they provide to those people. So that's a very famous shop around Hanwell at the moment. They are cooperative. They try and make sure that no street drinkers. They have in that report, if you look at it, one of the street drinkers, when he was refused alcohol, he punched Mr. Madan, and the police were also called up to have a look, but there was no response from the police. So they have been threatened also and many times by these street drinkers because they are not selling alcohol to the street drinkers. And it was a rare occasion that happened that a person was served, according to Mr. Madan. And according to Mr. Madan, the person did not look drunk, or Mr. Madan said he didn't look drunk. It is very difficult at this instance to say that he was drunk. But that's the way it is. The shop has been there for the last 4 years. I also would like to put it up that Mr. Madan's view when asked about Abby's...
Yeah, you're fading away now, Mr. Panchal.
No, I'm in here, sorry.
Well, when you face the camera, we can hear you. When you face away from the camera, you fade away. It's difficult to make out what you're saying, sir.
Okay, sorry, Chair. Regarding the CCTV and regarding the sale of alcohol and that, I'm going to leave that presentation for Mr. Madan to say, as he was saying. So I'm going to ask Mr. Madan to present himself regarding the CCTV and regarding the single cam. Can you? Yeah,
Mr. Madan, come into the middle there and get as close to wherever that might be. Otherwise, a bit closer, please. Mr. Panchal can move out slightly, I guess.
Yeah, better, sir.
Yeah, I can only see half your face, sir. Yeah, that's okay, right. So,
okay.
Go ahead. That's much better. Thank you.
On that day, the two police officer came to the shop for one guy, he picked 2 cans of Lek. It was only 5.5%. And I got the corona sheets front of my camera on the safe. And because they told me they was drunk. And I seen this guy first time. I never seen him before. He took 2 cans and he just gone. And then when these police officers came and they said they gave him a drink to them people. I said, this look like a normal people. I can't refuse them to say, look, if it's normal people, they said there was smell coming. But I can't see any. I already told the officer, look, I got the sheet. I can't smell anything.
You got the sheets, did you say?
Yeah, like corona sheet, because the sheets like front of the shop. We put the sheets for the on the corner.
Is that like you've seen a better not like a shield?
Yeah,
like
it's a plastic sheet.
Yeah, okay.
And they told me they was drunk while he's serving. I said, I can't, because he was normal guy. He gave the money properly. It's not like he was just falling down or anything like this. It was just normal. I told them, still I told them, you think he's drunk? Still I told them, even she was there as well, the other officer. I said, sorry, but I don't look as proper drunk. If you come on my side, you can't say it'd be a normal like you. And that's a problem, yeah. And one more thing, there's one Nepali guy outside he was a street drinker. She just told me that. And he told me I bought the drink from the best. This guy, you can ask any of them from the shops around Hanwell area. He take the food from our shop. Always any food comes because normally come for the food. Even she knows as well. Even the police officer, you can ask the police officers local. We always provide them food, water. It's not one my shop. There's 7-8 shops. They can buy from anywhere, and what they do is just sit outside because my shop is outside the bus stop. On winter time, anyone comes. On the rain time, they buy it from other shop and they sit outside the bus stop. I can't say to them to why you here. They told me lots of time, that's not your premises. That's a public place. I can't say to them that. And the CCTV, even the lady, and two officers came to see that. Even I showed, because on that time my screen was broken, and I show the videos proper, like a recording from my mobile, and they already seen it. The guy, he already seen it. Look, the recording, everything is working. Only the CCTV, only the TV is not working. And the next day I repaired it and just bought a new one. Monitor was not working on that time, but see, recording is working. Even I showed on the phone, the officer, look, the recording is absolutely working. His only problem is that the monitor is not working on that time.
The single thing, what have you to say?
Yeah, because my staff, I know, because when the Bob and the guy came, I was not here. I think my staff gave him the one can, but when the Bob day, and I think they refused them, or they told them no, you're not allowed to buy single, because we got the post to everything. We didn't give it to them. Because I wasn't cash and carry on that time.
Regarding the 10-15, which Abby said that there was only one staff present. Can you
Yes,
present what happened?
boss, I work 8 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock. On that time, I will show you where I was. Maybe I've been to the next door to kebab shop to buy the kebab for myself, or I've been to Chester to get a burger for myself. So normally on the premises after 6 o'clock, there are always 2 people in the premises, always. I will show you recording for last 3 months. If you want last 3 months, 6 months, how much I got recording, you will see always 2 people in the premises after 6 o'clock.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's the presentation.
Can
you see me?
I can, yes.
Yeah, that's a presentation from Mr. Madan's views regarding Abby and the presentation from the police. Chair, furthermore, I would also like to request you to have a look. There is a refusal book. There is a training manual that we provided to the premises, because we know the premises since 2014, because we were the people who got this license for the Mr. Madan in 2014.
Yeah.
And we carefully make sure that any premises workers they have are qualified and come down to the courses, like they obtain their personal licenses from us when they are working with us. So Chairman, there is a lot of care taken in the premises. There are labels out. You could see I'm not going to stress, but the article, which is about 3 pages of the newspaper, are there. So there is no underage sales. May I make it absolutely clear that the report that you see from the police and everybody, there is no underage sales at the premises. There are no drugs at the premises that are put up. So, Chairman, we feel that we are requesting Mr. Madan to have a look at the CCTV again. We are asking Mr. Madan, why was there alcohol there, which we agree with the police and that at that particular instance. But what Mr. Madan's view is that they do not sell the strong alcohols. In the last year or even maybe all the invoices, purchase invoices, you could see they have never bought case cider from the cash and carries, which indicates that the case cider was never stocked. Regarding the high strength beers, I'd like you to tell the committee why was it there?
Because I got one more shop as well in Southall. They have the normal license, because sometimes I do cash and carry for both shops. That's why I might have for that one as well, yeah.
That's why it was hidden at the back.
Because I go shop in Southall, they be doing the normal license, that one. Because that shop,
yeah, you've got a normal license at the best as well, sir. Just has conditions. Yeah. Okay.
Because we are just specialists of license. You know that shop is around the world because it's owned by Whiskey Exchange.
I'm familiar with the whiskey connection online.
Because from my shop, it's not like a local community. They come from far away. From I got a customer from highway they come from special from the spirit from here. Because special wines, we go like a £100, more than £100 bottle of wines, champagne, £600, £700. A rum, £190. Whiskey bottle, one whiskey bottle is I got it for over £1,000. Even lots of it's not like it's just a normal thing I'm doing it. We're doing it specialists. Even all the handle committee helped me with this because they know if they need any good stuff, they always come to me. I know because these street drinkers, I know that. I'm not saying that I know it's 100% my fault, but street drinkers everywhere now. Even I'm not doing anything now, nothing. I'm doing nothing. It's still they're sitting outside bus stop. I can't say no to them. He said, that's not your premises, nothing. You can't do anything to me. About 3 weeks ago, they broke my door and it's cost me £900 to fix it, just the door. He said, why are you refusing me? I said, I'm looking normal. I said, no, I'm not allowed to you. He said, I'm looking normal. I'm not drunk, nothing. Still, I say, he's an English guy. It's not like I say he's a Polish guy or Romanian or something, they're heavy drinker. They was normal. They said, why you refuse me? Because I can't. They said, why you refuse me? It's like a normal thing. Like, so why you refuse me? I'm just a normal. I'm just coming to buy the beers, wine. Why you refuse me?
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Madham. I'm just going to ask Abby or Bob just to respond to some. I'd ask questions about the CCTV. What could you give a sort of an outline of what CCTV has been requested and provided, and in what nature, downloads, etc., etc. If you could help us with that, that might be useful.
Yeah, I could probably start. So on all the occasions I have been inside the Best, the screen that they have up opposite the counter has always been off. I'm aware Mr. Madam did say I can't recall, sorry, if it was when I was visiting with Bob or Sergeant Bradshaw, that it was the screen itself that just wasn't working. It was still recording. However, on many occasions when we have been there and spoke to the shop workers, they've not been able to explain to us where the recordings are or where the system itself is stored. As I pointed out, sorry, I'm just going to clarify the date. It was on the 27th of June that I was there. There was an individual that had case cider, and I accept that that is not sold in the Best Wine. That's not being questioned here. But the worker at the time called Mr. Madden about us accessing that CCTV so they could evidence to us that they didn't sell to that particular street drinker. I left my contact details written down for Mr. Madden, as did one of the park guard officers. And we were promised that Mr. Madden would send us copies of that footage. And as I mentioned, to date, we've never received any footage from that particular incident on the 27th of June or any other subsequent visits that myself and Bob and or park guard or the police have been to. So we've received no CCTV at our requests or from them to back up anything or evidence anything that we've said.
Okay, Abby, would just sort of could just ask perhaps Mr. Madam if he agrees with that or not, you know, in simple format.
Yep.
Remember that you and the other guy came. I will, because on that time my recorder was not working. I will show you from my phone to the other gentleman.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that might have been on the 20th of July with Sergeant Bradshaw, the police officer.
Yeah, I already showed all the recording. Yeah, I already showed to the other guy,
yeah.
The other officer.
I believe you showed him on your phone.
Yes.
But he did speak to you about it also being recorded live in the store and having it access
I know
at the
that.
time.
I know it was on that time. Recording was not working. The monitor was broken. Next day, remember when he come? Next day we bought it because I already ordered it from. But next day, the monitor was in the premises. It's a brand new.
Right.
It was to fix it, but I can't fix it on that time.
Okay, I'm going to go to questions. Thank you, Abby. Abby Shaw. I'm going to go to councillors in a minute. Did you to ask questions? But I'll ask one question about the CCTV. did you get the note from Abby asking you to give over CCTV to Abby?
Yes, on that day I was not here. My staff was
Hang on a second, just generally, just that Abby is referring to she gave you details of how to contact her regarding CCTV. Did you correspond with her about that?
Yes, sir. Because on that day I was not.
But no, I'm not talking about not that day in the screen. We've gone through that. So in a sense, she said, "Here's my card or details. Please provide me with CCTV." Did you receive that information from her?
Not to me.
Okay.
I was not there. That's the problem.
I know you weren't there, but why was it not? You weren't there. You were having a kebab when the second person came in. You weren't there when Abby asked to hand over the CCTV and handed over the thing. So there are two occasions that you weren't there. But did you not receive the information to hand over CCTV?
I received from my staff. I checked.
You have, okay. That's fine. But subsequently, Abby hasn't received anything. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Fine. Okay. So that I'm done with that now. Thank you.
I got a thing. Yeah.
Okay. So you had the opportunity to hand over CCTV, and it's not been provided. Everyone agrees with that?
Yes.
Thank you. Fine. Got there. Thank you very much for your patience, everyone. Councillor Anand or Councillor Ball, would you got any questions from the good?
I've got a couple, if that's all right, Chair.
Yeah.
I do as well. If Councillor Ball goes,
of course. Yeah. I always go to the opposition representation first. So go ahead.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So in Mr. Madan's response just now, he was mentioning that he had another off license in Southall with a different license, and that's why some of the high strength beers were there. But in the evidence we've heard, the officers were finding higher strength lagers, cans of higher strength lager behind lower strength ones. So if they were just there temporarily between the cash and carry and the other off license, how would they end up being on the shelves behind other beers?
Because I go to stops sometime. You just pick up from the van and just put it there. It's like this. It's not like because because on my shop is only off license. I got nothing to like all the beers, all the wines, all the pale ales. It's not like a grocery, and they just pick it up and just put it there. Then I have to go to other shop to do other cash and carry. It's like just myself. I'm doing just like a whole shop hard. It's like no easy job. And I don't know why they put in the back. I know we done a mistake. I'm not saying that.
Okay, I understand that. So you're admitting that they were on the.
Of course, I done
a mistake by the staff.
I done a mistake. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, but just to follow up on that, that's right, Chair. There were multiple occasions where Abby Shaw and officers found the same situation, so pointed it out. So how come they were still there on subsequent visits?
No, because last time they come, it was not in the it was on the side, because last time they told me to remove it. We pick it up and we just put in the box. We put on the side.
Well, okay, I don't think that's quite what we heard, but anyway, okay, I hear what you're saying. The other thing I'd like to ask about is the non-duty paid cigarettes that were found. Do you have any explanation for those?
No, it's not for sale, because my friend come from the way and he just bring. It's not sale because you can ask Bob, any of them. They come to on my premises more than 7-8 times. They never find anything because I can't take. They come to 7-8 times on my premises. They never find anything like that. You can ask them as well. But this is for no, it's because, you know, we say it's not for me. It's not for sale. You can ask any that we never sell it. They knows as well. And it's for, because, you know, who will give it to me? I want to give it to someone else. He's Indian guy. He said, look, we are not smoker. We no smoke. Because we know selling, we know smoking. He said, okay, just give it to me. On that, suddenly that just happened. Because we can't keep it, we should keep it. Because I can't keep it on my car. That's the thing. Because, you know, we've done it before these things, but we after that, we stop everything. Nothing. We don't do anything like against the law, anything like this.
Sorry, so I'm not entirely clear. So what was it doing in that whiskey box in the shop?
No, because the guy came, because I don't have to, where shall I put it? On that time I was not, where shall I put the cigarette? Because if I put here, something wrong. If I put in my car, of course, they're going to come to see my car as well.
Look, John wants, Councillor Ball and I guess everyone wants to know why you had it there.
Because
Why?
no, it's not for me. It's, I know, because someone.
Well, well, if it's not for you, what was it doing there? I don't have cigarettes in my household. If I had a licensed premises, I don't believe I would hold illicit non-duty paid cigarettes in my premises. Why did you have non-duty paid? Why were they there? They're not. They said they weren't for you.
No.
But whose were they? What were they doing there?
No, because, you know, one of my staff was from him. He said, bring it for me. He said, give it to someone else, because he's easy, because this cigarette is no good. I'm not taking. It's okay. Anyone come, I'll give it to them. I want to give it to my friend. I know I done a mistake to keep in my shop. I'm not saying. I'm
Thank you.
I'm 100% saying it's not allowed. You know, the Bob came to me, promises for how many, 6, 7 times. He never find anything. I never checked. 8, 9 people come. They check from top to bottom everywhere. They couldn't find anything, because I'm not doing on that. Nothing.
Okay, John, sorry to intervene.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
Thank you very much. Yeah, try to. Councillor Nand.
Thank you, Chair. I will have a series of questions to Mr. Madan. Firstly, Mr. Madan, you understand the consequences and the severity of this hearing, and it's been recommended to us that revocation should be taken from your license. I need to clarify with you a few questions to understand what you think and what you understand about what's gone on with this episodes when our officers have actually investigated. So to start off with, I'm going to go to the basic, Mr. Madan, and can you just explain to us in the committee, who should you sell alcohol to, firstly? That's my first question.
I can't hear you, sir.
Just repeat the actual.
Can you hear me?
Well, as you asked the pertinent part with before the preamble, what was the question to the applicant?
Mr. Madan, can you please explain to us in the committee, who should you not sell alcohol to?
To underage, to the drunk, to the to the underage, to the young people, and to the the drunk people.
Thank you for that answer. I'm grateful. My next question then comes to you is that, do you understand the consequences of any breaches of those conditions that are on your license? Do you understand the consequences?
Yeah, of course.
What would happen? Can you please explain to us what would happen?
Well, sorry, it's a bit of a loaded question. I think you need to be a bit more specific,
okay.
Councillor. Yeah.
All right. I just basically, you breached certain conditions, and these conditions you've explained on 3 occasions that they were mistakes. Like when you had the CCTV, you were asked about the CCTV. You've explained that, oh, that was a mistake. I didn't communicate with the CCTV. When it came to the high volume drinks, again, you've admitted mistakes. And then with the cigarettes, you've admitted mistakes. You're explaining to us that you've done mistakes. Do you understand that these mistakes actually could lose your license? Did you understand that?
Yes, sir. I know that.
Okay. Thank you.
So can I come in, Chair?
Yes, Mr. Panchal.
My client does understand that any mistakes that he carries out in the premises, there is a consequence of him losing the license. But here we are, what we are saying is that the CCTV is a condition. The CCTV was working. That's what my client is explaining to the committee at the moment, that there is not any.
Mr. Panchal, we've done the CCTV for all intents and purposes. It hasn't worked because we're not in receipt of it. As we're here today without CCTV. Therefore, it hasn't worked.
Well,
it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked.
I wouldn't. I'm sorry to say this, Chair. What my client has explained to the committee, he hasn't produced the CCTV.
It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. I don't want to hear about a CCTV that's working that I don't have any evidence of that it works. Apart from an anecdote about a screen being presented, a phone screen device being presented to a police officer, that's the only evidence we have, Mr. Panchal, that a CCTV works. So I don't really want to spend any more time on the CCTV.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. Okay. Councillor,
my final question to Mr. Madan again is about the responsibility. Do you actually understand that it's your responsibility to train your staff, and if they make mistakes, that who is responsible for that mistake?
Me. It's me.
Yeah.
Because it's me, yeah, because I told them to I train them now. They know exactly what they're doing now. Because, it was different stuff, now it's different stuff. I told them everything, exactly what they need to do about these things. Everything from the old people to anything, everything. If they need something, if any police officer comes, they ask for the recording, anything, you go, everything, you are right to show them on that time, same time. You don't need to ask them to give me a number or anything like that. You have to show them, because I explained them where's the password, where's the port, everything. I told them straight away. Anytime you come, you can show him straight away. You don't need to ask me any question, anything like this. They want a recording, give them the passcode, everything, and they can check what they want to check.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Madan, for your questions. Thank you.
So, Mr. Panchal, Mr. Madan, so if you could just explain to me on a sort of day-to-day, weekly, regular basis, and I'm not talking about the exceptions of when visits were made, but just in general terms, who works in the shop? So, yeah. So you work in the shop how many days a week?
I work 7 days a week.
Okay. And I mean, do you open up?
Yeah, I open up every day, 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock. I open it, then I go cash and carry, then I come back again.
Yeah, so you open up, and then who's there from 8 o'clock through till when you're in and out?
My brother.
Your brother, okay.
Yeah.
Your brother. And is your brother has your brother undergone the training?
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Panchal, has he done that with you or?
Yes, he has got a personal license which was done.
Yeah. Great, thank you. And who else works at the shop?
Sometimes my wife, she comes.
Your wife, okay. And I mean, when you say sometimes, what?
It's like because when she dropped the school kids, she come for at least 2 hours to just fill up for me.
Yeah. So they're the two people there. So there could be up to 3 people during the day, so to speak. And in the evenings, when there's 2 people on, who are they?
The one staff comes 6 to 11 o'clock.
6 to 11. Okay. Yeah. Well, what's their first name, perhaps?
Which one? The
third person. There's your brother and your wife, and there's a third person.
His name?
Yes, his first name.
Yeah. So you call him, nickname is Sunny.
Sunny. Okay, funny. Okay. And has Sunny got personal license training?
He got it, yeah.
He does? Has he done that with you, Mr. Panchal?
I
No,
think
no,
so.
no,
No?
no. He done because before he done the off license in Birmingham. He just come from Birmingham area, that area.
Okay, okay, Sunny, okay. All right, and on the occasions where Abby had and Bob have been to the premises, and Sergeant Bradshaw, who is that third person, Sunny? This third person, this worker that Abby has referred to, who is this person?
Me? You asking me?
No. Yeah. So Abby's gone in and
It's Sandeep.
Sunny,
His name is Sandeep. Sandeep.
and that's your brother.
Yeah, he's a main. He's normally with me all the time.
So the person that, sorry, keep saying using your name, Abby. The person Abby is referring to that she has met when you haven't been there is who?
When, sorry, Chair, I'm going to.
Yeah. If you could help, yeah.
When Abby came down to your premises, वो आदमी कौन था जो कहा?
संदीप.
नहीं
सनी वो उसका असली नाम उसका संदीप है और जो सा दूसरा उसका नाम है जस नाम उसका असली जसबीर एक का नाम जसबीर है पूरा नाम एक का नाम संदीप सिंह है.
There are just to clarify, Chairman.
Yes, that's what we're here for.
To clarify, there are two staff, Sandeep and
Jasbir.
Jasbir.
Call him Jas.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just say there's you, there's you and your brother. What's your brother's first name?
Sandeep.
So Sandy. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, and then there's Jasbir.
Jasbir, we call him Jazz.
Jazz, sure, no problem. Okay, and who else?
That's it.
And your wife.
Yeah, wife time she just comes.
Yeah, I understand. Your wife comes in.
And his brother. So we've now got.
And his brother. Okay.
Yeah.
So I can go to each page, but so you met Mr. Singh. There's occasions when various people have been there and they've made representations that you weren't there. Who did they speak to?
One time it was Jess.
Yeah.
And one time it was Sandeep, called Sunny.
Your brother?
Yeah,
No.
it's called Sunny. His nickname is Sunny, but the full name is
Yeah.
Sunny.
We're familiar with Punjabi first names and surnames and nicknames. No problem. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Fine. So, and all of those people are still in your employment.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Just to explore what couple of questions Councillor Nand asked. So what do you understand as being underage? Firstly, what do you understand to be an underage drinker? So what's underage?
Underage for underage, under 21 challenge. You don't need to ask. You have to need, because if you go drink anywhere, you check the ID. Always check the ID. If they buy cigarette or alcohol, you have to ask. Even the before we sell it like a grinder, we ask for the ID as well. If they buy a drink, then of course they need 100% ID. Need ID for that.
Okay, and if you could give me an idea of what you consider to be a person that's drunk. I mean, that's the common term, but what's the threshold? What would you understand as being somebody that's drunk?
Because you can feel it, you can see it, because how they walk, how they walk, how he talks, how he take the money out from his pocket. It smell, because if you smell from the mouth. When he take when he tried to take the money from his account, you can see it, look, he was drunk or not.
Okay.
Face.
All right. Sure. Okay. It's a shame we don't have the CCTV, really, isn't it? But there we are. I said I wouldn't refer to it. My apologies. Okay. Right. I don't have any questions at this moment. Councillor Anand, Councillor Ball, obviously you get an opportunity again, but nothing at the moment. No. So if we could go to Abby, essentially to sum up, and obviously invite Bob in as well if you so wish, and then Mr. Panchal and Mr. Madham, you'll have a chance to respond to any of those matters in your summing up. So if you could go ahead, please, Abby.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think based on the summary is that in throughout June and July, multiple visits were made to the Best, following concerns about increased street drinking in the Hanwell Broadway area and the locality. And throughout all of those occasions, multiple breaches of the license conditions were observed and witnessed throughout the store, whether that be attempts to sell single cans to any individual, not just those heavily under the influence of alcohol, but also multiple high strength alcohol, again, breach of their license, one of their license conditions, found throughout the store, not just in the refrigerator areas, but stacked on the shelves. Quite high percentage alcohol that is commonly used by people who are involved in street drinking. Obviously concerns around the CCTV not being accessible or being shared with the relevant authorities when we've asked for it. But also concerns around upholding the licensing objectives. It's concerning to not only myself, but also police officers that Mr. Madham himself was unable to identify an individual who was heavily intoxicated with alcohol on the 20th of July, not just by one's smell, but by their physical appearances of that said person. And the overall contribution that I believe this premises is causing to the increased antisocial behaviour within the locality of Hanwell Broadway. Bob, I don't know if you have anything further to add.
Yes, I'll just a quick summing up. Obviously the premises are in a special priority area. We've heard that the high strength beer that was hidden behind the other cans was for his other shop, which he has got in Southall. It's stacked away. Why would a member of staff unpack? That's the other thing as well, because they were all split up as well. They weren't in a case. They were split up and hidden behind other cans. That's to try to fool us. But unfortunately, I've been there before, found high strength beer hidden before, so I know where to look, not only in that premises and others. He mentions that all the staff are trained. The one thing they don't appear to be trained in are the premises license conditions, because they're continuously breached and criminal offences, I might add. Section 144 of the Licensing Act deals with smuggled goods. The reason those cigarettes were directly behind where the shop assistant stands is close proximity. If somebody comes in for a packet of cigarettes, illegal cigarettes, you can't go out to a hidden store somewhere. They are always fairly close, or a stock is always fairly close. That's what they were. And as mentioned by the chair, if I don't smoke, so if somebody offered me to give me cigarettes as a present, I'd politely decline. And I fully support the revocation of this license, Chair. Thank you.
Just quickly before we go to, is there any conditions, Abby, that you're suggesting that could assuage your concerns I mean, a yes or no is fine. I just want to make sure that that's been offered or considered.
No, I don't think so.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Panchal and Mr. Madden, obviously, unless councillors have got any questions, this is an opportunity for you to sum up before we retire. But yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Chair, can you hear us?
Not really, no. So if you could come into view, once you're into view, we can pick up your mic. But when you're not in view, we can't pick up your mic.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Chair, we do not have much to say, but we, Mr. Madan has clarified to me that this is a specialist shop, as you heard us saying in the beginning, and we are not here, or he is taking every care to make sure he's got posters out, and he's making sure that no street drinkers are served. He's had problems with the street drinkers damaging the shop and that, but he's still cooperative and wants to understand that there are no underage sales. He understands the 4 licensing objectives. He does understand the conditions of his license. And Chair, he does understand that those super strength alcohols shouldn't have been there, and he's going to make sure that mistake doesn't occur again when in future. But he's taking full care, and the monitor and the CCTV are now working and were working. That's what his views are, and that is what his instance is. So, Chairman, we feel that at this very instance, revocation is not the matter which will actually destroy his business totally.
Because, this business is for that is over 60 years old shop, and everyone know about this shop. All the Hanwell committee still they coming to help me as well, because they know you can't stop a street drinkers. I know what I done it's not right. What I done is absolutely wrong. But please, I got lots of stress and tension. My rent's gone up, rates, light, everything. Please give us a chance, please. Last one, please.
Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you very much. I can confirm that the best off license has been in Hanwell all my living memory. When I went to St. Joseph's School as a child, and in my living memory, there's been street drinkers congregating around the clock tower for that amount of time as well, when there weren't, and there was no other off licenses in the area. So I quite agree with you on that, and with that analysis. Okay, councillors, before we wrap up, do you have anything else that you want to seek clarification on?
No, Chair.
Yeah, Councillor Anand. He's patching in slightly behind. Just shake your head. I think that was a shake. Councillor Anand.
I think you're on mute, Councillor Land.
Praveen, do you have any questions? Just shake your head or nod. Alison, I'm just going to come to you now. Assuming Mr. Councillor Nand doesn't have any questions, anything you think we need to cover before we retire?
No, Chair. I think everything's been covered.
That's fine. Councillor Nand is shaking his head, which suggests that he doesn't have anything he wishes to clarify. Thanks very much. Okay, so it's 12:09. We will retire to consider to deliberate. I would suggest that anybody that wants to tune into the decision to do so at 12:55, and we should be able to come to the decision part at 1 o'clock. But I'm obviously we reserve the right to take longer should we need to. So see you all at 12:55. Thank you very much.